Hey, it's Anderson from Shel's Creative Corner and Shel Anderson Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I blog at shelscreativecorner.blogspot.com and I can be reached anytime by email at andersonshell@gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube under Stamp with Shel. I would like to thank you for joining me today. We are going to be making 3 cards this sitting using products from the new August to December mini catalog. The first card we will be making with the Frosted Gingerbread stamp set found on page 10. The second card we will be making will be with the Peaceful Deer stamp set, actually the bundle, found on page 26. And our third and final card is going to be made with the Harvest Meadow suite of products. That's found page 54 to 56. And we're going to be using the dies and the stamp set both for this. All right, let me get this out of the way and we will get started. All right, I have 3 kits prepared here. I don't know which way they're coming out, so we're just going to do them in the order they come out. And it looks like this first one is going to be our Frosted Gingerbread. I have all my little bits and pieces here. And I'm going to bring in my baby embossing machine here. We are going to be doing some embossing, so I'm going to have to switch out some plates here. And I'm using the Wrapped in Texture embossing folder. And I have just a plain piece of white cardstock here. And I am going to pop this in the folder and we're going to run it through and get a little bit of texture on there. Just, oh, that doesn't feel right. Just to add a wee bit of interest. It's funny how you can tell by the feel whether it's, that's not right either. Maybe I should grab both plates and try this way. There we go, that feels better. Check out all that gorgeous texture. Isn't that cool? All right, so we can toss that embossing folder and we can move this guy out of the way and continue with our card. So I have this piece that I'm going to put jauntily on an angle. And then I have this piece of DSP that I'm going to go the opposite way just to add some interest. Pretty cool, eh? All right, so I'm just going to glue those down flat using our Tombow. And I like Tombow for all my cards, but especially for anything that's embossed. I'm just gonna put that on there a little bit kittywampus. And then we're going to use this one to go the opposite way. Just have that textured white piece peeking out. Then I have this piece of DSP that I'm just going to slip right across the center there just for a little bit more added interest. This one's a pretty simple card. I don't do anything that's really difficult. In behind my greeting. So I'm just gonna cut this down because I've got way too much. I just pulled some off the roll so I could have it in the kit. And now I'm going to grab my snail. I'm going to put snail on the back piece of this, and I'm going to place it where I want it. Then I'm going to do this. So I'll put some snail on here. There we go. Now all we have left to do is stamp our greeting. And I am going to use the greeting that says, "Sending you peppermint kisses." I think that's a fun greeting for this card. So we will grab a foam mat here just to give a little bit of cush and stamp our greeting. Not too bad for first try. Only problem is I stamped it on the wrong side of the tag. That's not very smart. Let's try the other side. There we go. All right, let's close up this ink pad so I don't get ink all over everything. And we'll bring our card back in here. Grab some dimensionals. And we'll put our tag on our card. All right, it's wanting to give me 3, so I will take 3. A little bit of overkill, but that's okay. And sending you peppermint kisses, all kitty wampus. Now, to finish off this little card that we've created, I am going to bring in some of the wonderful gems. And these are fabulous because they are red and clear, but they've got gold glitter in them. And they're just absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to use 3 of these red ones. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? These crooked cards are against the grain for me. I'm a little OCD, but I wanted to try. So I did, and I have an extra tag because I like to cut extras just to make sure in case I mess up on the greeting. All right, that is our frosted gingerbread card. We're going to set that one aside, and we are going to move on to our next card. We'll get this out of the way for a minute. We may need that again in a minute. I'm not sure which card I have here. All right, we are moving on to Peaceful Deer. So that's actually the next stamp set we have in line. And we are going to do some embossing again, but I have to bring in my big machine because this is a wide piece of cardstock. So I'm going to need to run this folder through twice, but I really like this folder. It's the fir boughs from the duo set of the mini. The other one is the snowflakes. So I'm going to get this set up and get some plates, and we will run this through. Oh, that doesn't feel right at all. Let's go this way. That feels better. All right. So we should have some greenery on one side. Now I'm just going to slide this over and do it again on the other side. the camera's shaking. All right, let's get some of this stuff out of the way. I don't have a whole lot of workspace here, so if I don't put stuff away as I go, I work myself into a 6-inch space. Okay, so we have this gorgeous embossed piece, and I'm going to pop that right here down flat, once again using Tombow as my adhesive. Oh, that's a pretty embossing folder. Very pretty. All right, now we have this little piece of DSP that I just thought would break this up just a wee bit. So I'm gonna, since I'm going on to embossed, and it is DSP, I'm once again using Tombow. And we're just gonna pop that across the middle like that. Now I have die cut this tag, and it is from the Tailor Made Tags die set. And we're going to stamp on this. Now that's interesting. We haven't done that for a while. Let me see if I can find my papers to cover up my... There we go. Now we're going to stamp some of these trees. I have a tall one, and I have some small ones. So I am going to load them on some blocks here. I actually don't think I need that single tree. I think I can make do without that. And we're just going to use this one. Now, I'm going to use Garden Green ink. I don't use that very often, but I'm going to use it today. And down here at the bottom, let me get up here in the camera, I am going to stamp one big green tree full strength, like so. And then I'm going to stamp it off and stamp it off. Okay, so we got a little bit of second generation stamping there. And now I'm going to take these little trees and I'm going to stamp them off and stamp them down below. Stamp them off and stamp them down below. All right, perfect. So we've got a nice backdrop there. Now let me get my chamois and clean up some of these stamps. All right, leave those stamps over there to put away afterwards. And we'll close up that green ink pad. Now we're going to add a greeting up top, and we're going to add how about we try this one? Wishing, I think this is it. Wishing you a wonderful year and friendships dear. That's a pretty nice greeting. We're going to do that in Memento Black. And I'm just going to put that right up in this corner. Just going to hold it there for a sec, let the ink transfer. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, I'm going to close that up. Put that aside. And we are going to grab a deer. I have this guy here, and I'm going to put him on a dimensional or two. Just so he kind of pops off the page a bit. And you can put him wherever you want him. I think maybe I'll put him down here. I like that. Now at the top we are going to thread this red ribbon through here like so, and once again I've got way too much, but that's okay. We'll use it for something else. And then I have this black and white gingham ribbon. You could use linen thread, you can use whatever you want, but I wanted to bring in the black from that deer that I did. I know it's not a traditional looking deer, but this class is all about thinking outside the box, and I'm going to see if I can get a bow on here. I may be able to do that. Actually, I need to go upside down in order to tie a bow. I find if I tie my bows upside down that, oops, typically they turn out okay, as in the tails are going in the right direction and such, but I'm struggling today. Alright, I almost lost that end. Let's flip that over. Let's see if we can get this zhuzhed in place. Check that out. That's kind of cute. Now we'll grab some ribbon scissors. I'm going to trim these in different heights. And we should trim the tails of these because they're a little bit frayed looking. There we go. Maybe a little bit more on this one. Now I'm going to grab a glue dot so that I can put this in place where I want it. And I'm just going to put this glue dot on the back side of this and separate it and glue it in place. There we go. All right, we're almost done. We just need some dimensionals for the back of our tag, and then we'll be able to move on to our next card. Oops, I stuck these two dimensionals together. That's not cool. There we go. And this one too is outside my comfort zone. It's on an angle. But look how cute that looks. I like it a lot. I have an extra deer, so we can put that in our scrap bin as well. Once again, I am going to bring in those wonderful gems. I think those will look just smashing on this card as well. And I'm going to use a big one right here, then a little guy, and another big one. Check that out. See all that sparkle? Isn't that cute? All right, my friends, that's card number 2. We have one more to go. Let's take that out of the way for a minute, clean up our mess, and we'll bring in our third and final card. And this one is with the Nature's Harvest bundle. So I'll get all my bits and pieces out here. And if you're wondering, I got these envelopes at the Dollar Tree. They're plastic. They've got a little snap closure on them. I think there's 6 in a package for $1.25. They are perfect for if you're pre-cutting projects to store your bits in there until you use them. So there's that little tip. Okay, we have a crumb cake card base this time. And this is with the Nature's Harvest bundle. And I have a few little bits here, but I've chosen this Calypso Coral, and I want to emboss this piece to give that some texture. So I'm going to bring in the big boss again, and we will get this embossed up so it'll add just a little bit of texture and interest to the background instead of it being so flat. Sorry for the shaking again. My camera stand is attached to my desk, so when my desk wiggles, the camera wiggles. Alright, check this out. Isn't that pretty? Just added that little wee bit of added interest to that. Okay, we are going to glue this flat down onto our card front, like so. And then we're going to take this strip of DSP, and you could use whichever side you want. These are the colors that I'm using. This is just some gold foil. So if you like the blue, you could use the blue. If you like the orange, I think I'm going to go with the blue because I like the contrast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a fine strip of, actually, I might just double that right over. Yeah, I think I will. Now, I'm going to run a fine strip of adhesive down the back of this with snail. And then I'm going to attach this to the edge of the blue. Just like that. So that this is one piece that I'm putting on the card. Now I'm going to add Tombow, and add this to the card front. Isn't that pretty? That little gold foil. And you'll notice that this is intentionally smaller than the matte layer. Just gives you, so you just want to try to make sure that you get this as even as you can, top and bottom. So next we have our wheat or grass or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to pop this on like this, but going off the edge, because I'm going to put this over the top. This is where my greeting is going to go here. Love this cork paper. It's actual cork. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so I'm going to put some Tombow on the back of this, and we're going to get this on our card. And I don't want it to be straight up and down. I intentionally want this to be on an angle. I bent it. All right. So we're just gonna let that fall off to the side. All right, so now we just have to decide if we want our cork pattern going up like that or down like that. And I think I'm more happy up and down. I'm going to use dimensionals on this flimsy paper, but I'm going to support it super, super well. So don't laugh at me with all the dimensionals that I'm putting on this. All right. This is a well-supported piece. So now this I'm just going to set down at the bottom, but I'm going to make sure that you can still see those tails. And I'm going to just kind of plop that in there nicely. All right, now we have a greeting to stamp. So we'll set that aside. And we'll bring in, this is from the Label Me Fancy punch. And as you can see, I punched 2 because you never know. You never know. And I'm going to choose just a simple thank you. And we will stamp that in Memento Black. Hopefully the first one's straight and clear. I'm going to try a second one. Oh, I like that one better. Much better. So that can go in my bits box. All right, so I have this little piece of lace, and I'm going to add some adhesive to it and stick it to the back of my greeting. All right. And then now I have adhesive on this mat, so I'm going to take that off because it's going to drive me crazy if I don't. Let's just let that dry. All right, now I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of the tag, catching that piece of lace. And we'll pull our card back in. Check that out. I'm going to let that lace hang over. Maybe not quite that far. There we go. Now we need to check out the embellishment that I chose. This is the new brushed metallic dots. Aren't those gorgeous? Super, super gorgeous. I'm going to use the copper ones. No, I'm not. I've got gold foil. I can't use copper. That would be just silly. I'm going to use gold ones. Go figure. 1, 2, and 3. There, my friends, are those gorgeous gold dots on our card. Isn't that cool? So there's card 3 with Harvest Meadow, card 2 with Peaceful Deer, and card 1 with the Frosted Gingerbread. Okay, so I normally don't do 3 cards when I do a video. There's purpose for that. Yes, I'm sharing this video publicly, but if you are a customer who placed an order with me last Monday, you are getting the kits and all the supplies to make all of these cards as a thank you for being my customer and purchasing from me. So now you have the kits coming your way and you have the video to fall back on, and I will also have tutorials for these in your bag. So you'll have tutorials and all the pieces that you need to make these cards. All right, thanks so very much for joining me today, and stay safe and happy stamping.